The PS1 era stands as a golden chapter in JRPG history, a time when developers wove unforgettable tales, brought to life by rich narratives, unforgettable heroes, and timeless soundtracks etched into gaming legend. Decades later, these masterpieces still resonate with fans, but imagine them reborn with modern technology. As the Nintendo Switch 2 looms on the horizon, it feels like the perfect moment to reforge these classics. In this video, we will be showcasing 10 legendary PS1 JRPGs that deserve a full modern revival. Let's dive in. Breath of Fire 3 remains a standout RPG, masterfully blending innovative systems, compelling storytelling, and striking aesthetics that have aged beautifully. The game's unique gene system invites players to experiment with dragon transformations, combining collected genes to unlock powerful forms. Alongside the Master System, which shapes character growth through specialized training, these mechanics provide a strategic layer and a sense of customization that remains fresh and rewarding. These features ensure that revisiting the game is as engaging as ever. The narrative in Breath of Fire 3 is another defining feature, weaving a journey of relationships, separation, and discovery that resonates deeply. From intimate character moments to grand unfolding mysteries, the story strikes a balance that keeps players hooked. The subplots and emotional arcs enrich the main narrative, creating a sense of connection that elevates the game's world. Visually, its fusion of 2D sprites and rotatable 3D environments creates a lively, dynamic world. This design encourages exploration from multiple perspectives, making every location feel engaging and alive. The soundtrack further complements this world with vibrant melodies that linger long after the journey ends. Extras like fishing, unique character abilities, and hidden challenges add layers of discovery and replay value, ensuring that every playthrough feels rewarding. Breath of Fire 3 continues to shine as a timeless RPG gem, deserving of celebration and preservation for generations to come. The Legend of Dragoon stands as a bold entry in the golden era of JRPGs, brimming with creativity and ambition. Its world-endiness is steeped in rich lore and history, offering a variety of cultures and stories to uncover. The environments pulse with life, showcasing thoughtful design that invites players to explore their vibrant and diverse landscapes. The combat system is a refreshing take on turn-based mechanics, introducing timed button presses to execute intricate combo attacks. Dragoon transformations amplify battles, delivering dynamic, visually striking special moves and magical abilities. These elements inject energy into encounters, blending traditional gameplay with an action-oriented twist. The narrative, set against the backdrop of intrigue, follows Dart's journey as he navigates evolving relationships and uncovers hidden truths. Emotional moments shine as the plot builds momentum, with the bonds between characters adding layers to the unfolding story. World itself, vast and steeped in history, rewards players with deeper discoveries. Collectible Stardust encourages exploration, while varied minigames provide delightful breaks from the main quest. A memorable soundtrack punctuates key moments, perfectly aligning with the game's atmosphere. The Legend of Dragoon seamlessly weaves action, storytelling, and discovery into a journey that leaves a lasting impression. Xenogears stands as a landmark in JRPG history, delivering bold storytelling, innovative mechanics, and a distinct visual style that continues to resonate decades later. The game masterfully weaves its narrative with gameplay, crafting an unforgettable journey through thought-provoking themes and vibrant worlds. Its combat systems offer refreshing variety, from the rhythmic deathblow combos to the tactical depth of gear battles. The timed inputs in deathblow combat are reminiscent of the Legend of Dragoon's mechanics, while gear battles incorporate resource management that requires keen strategy. The arena mode adds an exciting twist, offering a fighting game-style approach that highlights the game's creativity and love for the maker genre. The soundtrack stands as a high point, blending emotional ballads like Small 2 of Pieces with hauntingly atmospheric tracks. These compositions elevate the storytelling, leaving a lasting impression that complements the game's layered narrative. Visually, Xenogears strikes a unique balance between 2D sprites and 3D environments, achieving a timeless aesthetic. Its hybrid approach places it among the most visually enduring PS1 titles, offering scenes that still captivate. Its characters, from Ellie's introspective growth to Bart's adventurous spirit, each add a vital thread to the overarching story. Side characters like Id and Hammer carry emotional depth, contributing to the game's remarkable world building. Xenogears is a daring exploration of complex themes. With its expansive vision, it solidifies its legacy as a JRPG that redefines the genre. The thought of a remake is tantalizing, offering a chance for a modern retelling of this timeless classic. Legend of Legaia distinguishes itself as a standout JRPG of 1999, blending a unique combat system with an emotionally resonant story and a vibrant world that leaves a lasting impression. Its visual presentation shines, particularly in battles rendered in fluid 3D, and the polished FMV cutscenes enhance key narrative moments. Minor graphical quirks during close-ups in some scenes don't detract from the overall quality. The combat system redefines turn-based mechanics with directional inputs that determine attack combinations. Players can unlock powerful techniques such as hyper arts, super arts, and the awe-inspiring miracle art. Each character's Ra Seru companion adds a strategic layer, with elemental affinities influencing spell effectiveness and offering brief but dazzling summon animations. Exploring Drake's Kingdom, Sebukis Islands, and Callisto Kingdom unveils a journey where battles grow increasingly demanding, encouraging strategic growth. Alongside the main quest, players can enjoy diversions like fishing or unraveling the secrets of Soul Tower. The soundtrack underscores the game's mood, alternating between stirring themes and more subdued tracks. The narrative evolves from a familiar premise into a heartfelt tale of resilience, loss, and redemption, enriched by memorable characters and compelling subplots. For fans of thoughtful storytelling and inventive gameplay, Legend of Legaia remains an unforgettable classic. Threads of Fate is a hidden treasure in the RPG genre, carving its niche alongside classics like Final Fantasy and Chrono Cross. Its charm stems from its balance of accessible mechanics and engaging storytelling, offering players two unique narratives. The combat is straightforward yet rewarding, while the story unfolds from two contrasting perspectives, making it stand out in the RPG landscape. The game breaks away from traditional conventions, allowing players to upgrade stats without the grind-heavy systems often seen in the genre. The freedom to experiment with cheats or approach the mechanics organically underscores a design philosophy centered on enjoyment. This flexibility is one of the game's most notable features, making it feel fresh even years after its release. The dual storylines are a highlight. Mint's tale brims with humor and her brash yet oddly charming personality, while Rue's story provides a somber, reflective contrast. This dynamic not only keeps the narrative engaging but encourages replayability. Clever puzzles and strategic use of magic elevate the gameplay, while vibrant visuals and expressive character models bring charm to the dialogue. Music supports the mood beautifully, complementing each moment seamlessly. Threads of Fate remains a timeless classic, combining bold storytelling with imaginative design to create something truly unforgettable. Brave Fencer Musashi delivers an amusing action-adventure with plenty of personality. Often compared to Zelda 64, it carves its own path, blending RPG mechanics with platforming and exploration in a style that feels uniquely Musashi. Its charm lies in its humor, colorful world, and creative gameplay systems. The visuals are a burst of vibrant energy. While the game skips FMVs and pre-rendered backdrops in favor of traditional 3D environments, the result is a lively, cartoonish world filled with detail. Character models could be sharper, but gaining legendary armor pieces provides visual upgrades that stand out. Despite occasional slowdown in enemy-packed moments, the aesthetic remains appealing. Sound design shines through quirky voice acting and a dynamic soundtrack, or whether it's the heroic tune accompanying key moments or the echoing ambience of the Frozen Palace, the audio complements Musashi's journey. Gameplay is where this title thrives. From real-time day and night cycles influencing shops and events, to Musashi's unique dual weapon system, every mechanic feels deliberate. Fusion and Lumina allow for creative combat and puzzle solving, while the fatigue system encourages strategic rest. The sense of progression through rescuing NPCs and learning new skills is immensely rewarding. Despite minor platforming quirks and limited save points, Brave Fencer Musashi delivers an adventure packed with creativity and charm that lingers long after the credits roll. While RPGs are often associated with grinding for experience and leveling up, few can match the intensity and unique challenge of Vagrant Story. The game's difficulty isn't simply about overcoming high-level enemies or winning long battles, it's about skill and strategy. Unlike most RPGs, where progress is determined by the time invested or the amount of grinding, Vagrant Story demands precision, concentration, and quick reflexes. Every encounter, especially the boss fights, puts the player's abilities to the test, with no room for complacency. The skill-based chain system is an innovative twist that adds layers of depth, rewarding players who master the timing and strategy needed to pull off successful maneuvers. But the game isn't just a hard challenge, it's a masterclass in risk-taking. Square Enix strayed from its traditional RPG mold to deliver a gritty, dungeon-crawling experience that feels unlike anything else. The atmosphere of Leia Monde, the hauntingly beautiful environment, and the compelling plot all contribute to an experience that remains unforgettable. Despite these bold choices, Vagrant Story remains underappreciated, largely because of its age and the technological limitations of the PSX era. The visual and gameplay innovations it introduced were groundbreaking at the time, but now they are limited by outdated graphics and controls. This is exactly why Vagrant Story needs a remake. A modern update could take the incredible foundations laid in the original and bring them to life with contemporary graphics, smoother combat, and refined mechanics. The dungeon crawling focus, the brilliant battle system, and the atmospheric world of Leia Monde could be enhanced and expanded upon, offering a new generation of players the chance to experience what makes this game so special. Vagrant Story isn't just a game, it's an experience that challenges and rewards. Its remake could prove to be one of the greatest revivals in RPG history, bringing this unsung masterpiece into the spotlight where it truly belongs. In Wild Arms 2, set in the world of Legaia, much like its predecessor, you start by controlling each of the three main characters in separate solo missions before their paths cross. This structure, also borrowed from the first game, works well. Ashley Winchester, the game's blue-haired main protagonist, is armed with a rifle featuring a bayonet. Unlike many typical silent protagonists of 32-bit RPGs, Ashley stands out for his forward-thinking, optimistic personality. Early in the game, Ashley is being controlled by a demon, adding a darker layer to his character, which becomes central to the plot, especially in the later stages. The story of Wild Arms 2 is conceptually engaging. Both the heroes and the villains struggle with the issue of borders, which fuel distrust between nations. While their approaches differ, in the end, the heroes manage to unite the leaders of the nations, though only because there's a common enemy to face. The game also explores the theme of weaponry. There's even a nuclear weapon in the form of a dragon threatening world peace at one point. The Wild Arms series has always emphasized puzzle solving in its dungeon exploration, and Wild Arms 2 improves on the first game's formula. While the overhead camera limits puzzle variety, each character acquires 3 tools throughout the game that can interact with the environment in specific ways. These tools trigger certain switches or mechanisms, and figuring out which character is needed for each puzzle is part of the fun. Some puzzles even come with time limits, adding a sense of urgency. The dashing mechanic, inherited from the first game, remains a highlight. It's satisfying to dash in 8 directions, slow down slightly, then quickly change direction and dash again. It's simple but effective. The combat is turn-based, with each character having a force point system that fuels their special attacks. XP is earned by attacking, taking damage, or dodging attacks. Character progression includes leveling up and earning points to improve passive traits through a personal skill shop. Points can also be spent to enhance physical attributes like attack or defense. While the gameplay is solid, what truly elevates the experience is the music. The game features nearly 100 original tracks. The music, especially during the anime FMV cutscenes, is exceptional and enhances the emotional impact of the story. Tales of Eternia lands somewhere in the middle of good and bad base on story. Its story is solid but far from gripping. While the premise shows promise, it lacks the emotional depth or complexity. However, it's far from being one of the worst RPGs, and the focus on gameplay, particularly mastering complex combos, often overshadows the story itself. The characters in Tales of Eternia are a highlight, though your enjoyment of them will largely depend on whether you prefer serious, tortured souls or lighter, more cheerful personalities. Unlike characters like Faye from Xenogears or Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, this game's cast is largely upbeat, with characters who, for the most part, are simply on a quest to help others. The protagonist, Reed, is more passive than most RPG heroes, often dragged along by his friend Farah. Other characters, such as Farah, Max and Meredy, add variety and charm to the team. The translation work is excellent, which helps elevate the character's appeal. Graphically, Tales of Eternia offers solid visuals. The special effects during battle are particularly striking, with the final battle being a dazzling visual spectacle that might overwhelm the player with its intensity. While it's a bit chaotic, especially with so many spells flying around at once, the overall visual design is impressive. The battle system, however, is where the game truly shines. It's fast-paced, strategic, and incredibly fun, earning a perfect score. In random encounters, battles take place on a side-scrolling map where you can freely move and attack. The system goes beyond typical RPG combat, allowing players to chain together combos and use a wide range of special skills. With over 60 unique attacks to learn, plus magical abilities tied to elemental spirits called Kramels, the battle system encourages constant experimentation. While the game's harder difficulty settings are challenging, they also make each battle a satisfying test of skill. The bosses in Tales of Eternia are another standout. Unlike many RPGs where enemies simply use basic attacks and magic, here you'll face foes with a variety of unique abilities, such as teleportation, invisibility, and unavoidable counterattacks. These creative, dynamic battles keep you on your toes, providing a refreshing change from the standard RPG boss fights. The game's soundtrack, while not terrible, doesn't live up to the high expectations set by Tales of Destiny. Although there are several decent tracks, a few from it leaves a lasting impression. Despite this, the game's sound design doesn't detract from the overall experience. Tale of Eternia is a long game, with a playtime of 50+ hours for those who aim to complete everything. This is a substantial length compared to the 30-hour average of many other RPGs. The game also features a wealth of hidden content, making it a treasure trove for completionists. In conclusion, Tales of Eternia is an exceptional RPG with a few flaws. While the story and sound may not be groundbreaking, the battle system and character development make it one of the more enjoyable experiences in the genre. It may not be perfect, but it's certainly one of the most fun RPGs around that needs a remake. Breath of Fire 4 delivers a refined RPG experience with turn-based combat that strikes a perfect balance between accessibility and depth. Players control Ryu, the protagonist with the ability to transform into powerful dragons, and a cast of unique characters, including Nina, who returns from Breath of Fire 3. The game introduces a dual character system with Ryu and Fu Lo, an ancient emperor, as the two key players. The combat system stands out, allowing for smooth combo attacks and a flexible turn order that keeps things fresh throughout the game. One of the most significant improvements is the rank system, which ensures all party members, whether in the front or back ranks, are involved in battles, preventing any character from lagging behind. This system gives the game a dynamic feel as you strategically rotate characters in battle for healing, support, and offense. The dragon transformations are simplified compared to previous games, and while this might disappoint fans of the more complex Breath of Fire 3 system, the new setup still offers a lot of fun. With abilities tied to each dragon form, managing Ryu's AP becomes crucial, especially when he is in dragon form. The game also eliminates tedious grind sessions, making it a more streamlined experience. Random battles, though frequent, are manageable thanks to efficient mechanics and a reasonable progression curve. The plot in Breath of Fire 4 revolves around a war between two nations and a quest to rescue Princess Alina, Nina's sister. While the story offers some interesting twists, it ultimately feels like standard RPG fare. The focus on war and the battle between good and evil lacks the complexity and political intrigue of other tactical RPGs. That said, the narrative does draw emotional investment, especially with the tragic moments near the end. However, the abrupt conclusion and the unresolved fate of certain characters leave a lot to be desired. The soundtrack in Breath of Fire 4 is a standout, with memorable tunes that enhance the emotional tone of the game. The battle and boss music, particularly when you enter the Foe Empire, carries an eerie and haunting quality that sticks with you long after you've turned off the game. The soundtrack is definitely one of the highlights, further immersing players in the world. For its time, Breath of Fire 4 boasts impressive visuals with a notable upgrade over its predecessor. The characters now have multiple sides, and the camera can be rotated to view them from different angles, adding depth to the presentation. The environments are beautifully designed, capturing the fantasy setting with detail. While the graphics may not hold up as well today, they certainly contributed to the charm of the original release. With plenty of minigames, hidden secrets, and a flexible combat system, Breath of Fire 4 offers high replayability. The game's numerous dungeons and varied bosses provide opportunities for different strategies and playthroughs, keeping things fresh even after completing the main story. Breath of Fire 4 is a polished and enjoyable RPG that improves on many of the issues from previous entries in the series. Its combat system is one of the most rewarding parts of the game, and the variety of characters and abilities makes each encounter unique. While the story may not be groundbreaking, it still offers enough twists and emotional moments to keep you invested. The game is definitely worth playing, especially for fans of turn-based RPGs looking for a classic experience with a modern feel.
That concludes our episode for the day. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive a notification about the latest game deals and updates. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video.